Welcome to CommercialDrones.fm, the podcast that explores the commercial drone industry, the people who power it, and the concepts that drive it. I'm your host, Ian Smith. Commercial Drones FM is supported by Deveron UAS. Deveron UAS is building a standardized drone network for farmers all across North America, offering on-demand, near real-time, field-level data when you want it. To learn more about how you can achieve scalable data collection in agriculture, visit deveronuas.com. That's deveronuas.com. Hey everyone, Ian here, and welcome to Commercial Drones FM. This episode is the second in our new recurring series of episodes called Drone Industry Review. It feeds you all the biggest news from the drone industry in the past 3 months in just 20 minutes or less. The objective and format of the series is to brief you on all the most important newsworthy items that have happened in the world of drones in the past quarter. Everything from hardware to software, regulations, mergers and acquisitions, delivery drones, entertainment drones, and more will be covered. This quarter, we've got 10 different topics to cover, and if there's a topic that was in last quarter's episode but didn't make it into this episode, it's likely just because I determined there was nothing noteworthy to report. So, are you ready? Here's your drone industry review for Q2 2017. Hardware. Multirotors are up first. The Chinese drone OEM DJI had a veritable monster of a Q2 this year. Early on in the quarter, DJI released the Phantom 4 Advanced, which is essentially a Phantom 4 Pro, but with only the front-facing obstacle avoidance sensors. Then DJI teamed up with Seagate, the popular digital storage manufacturer, to release a hard drive optimized for their drones. The DJI goggles, a head-mounted wearable, were made available for pre-sale starting at $449. They're compatible with Mavic Pro, Phantom 4, and Inspire platforms. The company also introduced the totally badass-looking Sendence modular remote control meant for aerial videographers and high-end commercial operators. It's compatible with the Inspire 2 and Matrice 200 and costs a whopping $999. Then, DJI controversially broadcasted their intention of requiring users to update their drones to the latest firmware, which requires a drone operator to sign in and verify their DJI Go account before use. If users don't do it, certain drone functionality will be crippled. DJI Spark drones are now loose in the wild. They're tiny, cost $499, and have an integrated 2-axis gimbal, and they're targeted at hobbyists. All of this happened amongst chatter that DJI's revenue exceeded $1.45 billion, up 60% year over year. Between 2011 and 2015, DJI's revenue has reportedly increased 100-fold. And finally, a paradigm shift that seems like not many besides myself have really caught and analyzed. DJI has added in-app purchases to their DJI GS Pro software. Starting at 99 cents for just 60 minutes of access, commercial drone operators can pay to unlock 3D map point-of-interest waypoint functionality for vertical asset inspections. For $19.99, you can get lifetime access on that DJI account. So, microtransactions to unlock additional flight functions. Could this be just an experiment, or is this a hint at what's to come from DJI? Okay, well, enough of the DJI show. Let's move on. Intel had what I'm referring to as their official coming out party for their commercial drone activities. Even though nearly every single DJI drone already sold has an Intel-owned Movidius computer vision chip inside of it, Intel has even more grand plans to infiltrate the commercial drone market. This coming out party culminated as Intel showcased how their systematic approach to owning the full stack of drone hardware and software is leading to big technological advances. In front of thousands of attendees, CEO Brian Krzanich took the stage at AUVSI's Exponential Conference in Dallas and displayed a live indoor, fully autonomous drone inspection taking place on a fake bridge with their Intel Falcon 8 drone platform. Big things are coming from the legacy Silicon Valley company. And another spectacular thing seen live by thousands, a GoPro Karma drone crashing at the San Francisco Giants baseball stadium, narrowly missing hitting sitting spectators in the stands. Missing hitting sitting. Huh. Unique Aviation has seen better days. Reports on the internet showed images of angry Unique suppliers picketing outside of Unique properties in China, demanding that the company's debts be paid. Arion Labs announced Bill McHale will be their new CEO, while the incumbent will take over as the high-end multi-rotor OEM's first chief technology officer. The company was also named as one of Canada's best places to work. A company called Ellistair announced a product called LigT, Ligh-T, a tethered power system that's compatible with DJI Inspire 1 drones, and a super heavy lift multi-rotor has been released by Griff Aviation and debuted at the Exponential Conference. The prototype platform can lift hundreds of pounds, and the company is working on a larger unit that can carry nearly a ton. Griff Aviation will also open up a Florida-based manufacturing plant. Moving on to fixed-wing news. Delairtech, my alma mater, completed France's first 30-mile beyond visual line of sight flight over a 3G network and became the country's official national provider for fixed-wing drones for government. Parrot-owned SenseFly reached a global distribution agreement with software company Airware and launched their corridor mapping solution targeted at linear infrastructure inspection. Parrot themselves then launched some professional solutions, likely hoping to do for fixed-wing what DJI did for multi-rotors. Their solutions are based on their lower-than-EB costing Disco drone platform. This is more of a prosumer fixed-wing play, and it's something new to the market which I hope can gain traction, as fixed-wing platforms just haven't had nearly as much momentum as their multi-rotor constituents. In GPS news, Swift Navigation publicized a partnership with Carnegie Robotics, which brings a new product called Duro, essentially a ruggedized version of their flagship Pixie multi-dual frequency RTK GLONASS receiver. Moving on to VTOL, where there are still no products that are crazy successful yet, a company called Wingtra has built a small VTOL platform capable of mapping missions. Swift Engineering, not the aforementioned Swift Navigation, launched a VTOL platform called the 020 that looks larger yet a bit more fragile than Wingtra's platform. In the world of sensor manufacturers, Centera introduced a multispectral double 4K sensor, and from what I understand is the first of its kind, offering nearly double the resolution of its direct competitors. Hasselblad and DJI launched the world's first 100 million pixel drone based on the Matrice 600 and Hasselblad's H6D 100C camera. In battery technology, we see the first DJI spin-off. Ex-DJI employees created a company called EcoFlow, and its first product, an external battery pack called River, to quote The Verge, is a big-ass battery pack that you didn't know you needed. And a Chinese manufacturer, MMC, announced the Hydrone 1800, a hydrogen fuel cell-powered multi-rotor capable of 4 hours of endurance. Software. Through various not very cryptic at all tweets, Skycatch looks to be not necessarily pivoting, but rather adding a new focus to their commercial drone software offerings. There have been videos of new artificial intelligence algorithms running in real time on a drone, tracking objects on construction sites coming from their Twitter account. Of course, this is all happening on board a new piece of drone hardware from the company, a quadcopter dubbed Explorer 1, which looks to be a DJI Matrice 100 with a Swift Navigation GPS unit and an NVIDIA computer vision chip, possibly the Jetson on board. For the past few months, I've been trying to schedule a podcast with CEO Christian Sands, but unfortunately scheduling conflicts keep arising. I'll get you more information on this development as soon as I can. Mr. Sands, get at me. AirMap has integrated the new UAS facility maps from the FAA into their software. These facility maps depict the areas around 268 airports in the United States where drones may be authorized to operate. Drone Deploy released Field Scanner, a new technology that lets drone users create real-time previews of the areas they're trying to create maps of, viewable on a mobile device without an internet connection. I was actually able to donate my vocal cords to this righteous promo video. Introducing Field Scanner, the first step in real-time aerial mapping. Pick a DJI drone, power it up, launch the Drone Deploy app, and select the area you want to scout. Kespri added a few new executives at the VP level to their team. Of note is one Jim Allison, who is now Kespri's VP of Engineering and previously was VP of Product Development at Lilly Robotics. Yes, that Lilly Robotics, the one whose headquarters was raided and was then subsequently sued in a consumer protection lawsuit by San Francisco's district attorney. Even after recently auctioning off all of its assets for $750,000, Lilly Robotics has only been able to repay about half of the 61,450 customers who pre-ordered the fraudulent company's drone. The saga continues. Airware's founder and CEO Jonathan Downey resigned and handed the chief executive officer reins over to Airware's now former COO Yvonne Wassenaar. With this, there is now officially a trend with drone companies replacing their founding CEOs: Precision Hawk, Kespri, Airware, and Aireon. DroneBase, the marketplace which connects commercial drone operators to clients, closed two big partnerships in Q2, one with Remax and the other with Getty Images. They're continuing to construct a valuable ecosystem for their drone operators, and in my eyes are clearly leading the pack in that regard. The Serbian agricultural analytics company AgriSense have changed their name. They're now known as Agrimo. And CopterSafe, a Russian company, is selling software modifications that essentially jailbreak DJI drones, allowing their customers to bypass DJI's own geofencing and restricted flight areas. Obviously, this modification can be used for nefarious purposes, but here's to hoping something positive comes of this. Regulations. The European Union is hoping to have unified drone rules in place by 2019, while in the US, the Department of Transportation began an audit on the FAA to investigate their waiver process. Drone maker DJI quietly made large areas of Iraq and Syria no-fly zones, an attempt to combat the unintended ways in which their drones are being used, but obviously not if CopterSafe has anything to say about that. And how about a Part 107 drone pilot update? As of late March to around May, over 39,000 remote pilot certificates were issued in total, and Part 107 knowledge exam pass rate is 92%. There were also a reported 810,000 UAS registrations in total. That's 4/5 of 1 million. But after an appeals decision in court in May, the FAA's requirement to register hobbyist drones was struck down, so individuals are currently in the process of getting their $5 refund and continuing to fight the man. Assuming the absolute minimal majority of the 810,000 registrants were for hobbyists, which is an insanely conservative estimate, we get around 413,100 hobbyist registrations. At $5 a pop, that equates to a potential $2+ million hit in hobby drone registration refunds for the FAA to process. Trump. What's Trump up to in the drone world? Well, he met with some industry stakeholders at the White House and somewhat awkwardly fondled a drone. Official word from the White House is that no drones were flown inside. Thank you for that reassurance. Although, if there were a rogue drone buzzing around the premises, the Trump administration's new proposal could allow the feds to track, commandeer, disable, hack, or destroy drones flying in the US. And as April Glazer of Recode points out, that would potentially mean that drones may have less privacy protection than a cell phone, which currently cannot be searched without a warrant. Shakeups, funding, and mergers and acquisitions. 3D Robotics raised a $53 million Series D round. This tallies up to $178 million in total funding to date. The round included investments from the Autodesk Forge Fund and others. Echodyne, a radar company with a drone focus, closed a Series B round of $29 million. Bill Gates was one of the investors who participated. Swift Navigation, the GPS and navigation company, raised $34 million for autonomous vehicle GPS, which we spoke of earlier. And Drone Racing League, the one with an ESPN partnership, raised $20 million in a Series B round. American Robotics closed $1.1 million in seed funding to develop automated drone technology for farmers. Airbus, the Toulouse, France-based airplane, helicopter, and satellite manufacturing behemoth, officially announced the creation of Airbus Aerial at Exponential. Airbus Aerial is their own commercial drone service play, and as mentioned in last quarter's episode, it's led by Jesse Coleman and has attracted the likes of ex-Google X legal counsel Travis Mason to join the crew. They're based in Atlanta, Georgia, and are currently recruiting heavily for software-related roles. Snap, the camera company who reportedly has a valuation higher than SpaceX, acquired unknown drone startup Control Me Robotics for a cool $1 million many months ago. I'm not even going to begin to speculate here, but no concrete evidence of Snap drone development has been revealed yet. A drone conference called Ascend, which was to be put on in Oregon by one of the print publishers who make the magazine Drone 360, closed down shop without ever even opening in the first place, citing unsatisfactory attendee registrations and lack of exhibitor commitment. Probably a good thing. Autonomy and flying cars. Dubai's autonomous aerial taxi service will apparently be ready for takeoff later this year. After scrapping the overhyped EHang passenger drone, which never seemed viable to me in the first place, they're now locked in with German aviation company Volocopter, who produce a much more realistic passenger drone than EHang's publicity stunt. Kitty Hawk, a flying car company purportedly backed directly by Google's Larry Page, began testing its rightly named Flyer, in public over the San Francisco Bay. It's basically a motorcycle drone or a jet ski that's a drone or whatever they decide to spin it as. But with a potential endurance of around 20 minutes and range of up to 50 miles, it's incredibly exciting to imagine the future of personal air transportation. Delivery drones. Of all companies, IBM has submitted a drone delivery patent. Team Roadrunner set a new record for largest urban drone package delivery in the US at over 97 miles by using cellular connectivity. Amazon is opening a new research facility for its drone delivery aspirations, again outside of the US near Paris, France, and Amazon also snagged a patent for a shipping label with a parachute built in, intended for packages to be dropped from an aerial vehicle, which land at their destination without damage. Also, Amazon has filed another patent for a cone-shaped robotic fulfillment center of the future. A Beijing-based Chinese e-commerce company, JD.com, is developing delivery drones which can carry 1 ton. How much does Chinese soup weigh? The company said it made its first deliveries with smaller drones to customers back in November. They already have a nationwide network of delivery stations with 235 million regular customers. Google's Project Wing made progress for unmanned air traffic management by completing a series of tests organized in conjunction with the FAA and NASA, a small step forward for feasibility of actual drone delivery. Internet beaming drones. Facebook's internet beaming drone Aquila has completed its first successful landing, compared to other test flights that just weren't quite as pretty. And an incredibly useful report was released by Qualcomm, which chronicles the results of the first comprehensive systematic study of cellular system performance in networks serving low altitudes below 400 feet AGL. The takeaway? After 1,000 flights, even though LTE antennas are aimed down toward our cell phones on the ground, signal strengths were statistically stronger for drones at altitude than for ground vehicles because the free space conditions at altitude more than made up for the antenna gain reductions. Verizon, you might finally be closer to actually selling those drone data plans that you announced last year. Entertainment drones. Attendees at the popular Coachella Music Festival in California were witness to 300 of Intel's shooting star drones, which performed spectacular light shows for them in the night sky. Japanese mobile phone operator NTT Docomo debuted what it's calling the world's first spherical drone display, transforming a normal-ish multi-rotor drone into a flying, glowing likeness of planet Earth. I can imagine the future of advertisement now. Mining. Not much here, but Luckstone, the United States' largest private aggregate producer, partnered with Airware to better utilize drones in mines and quarries. Public safety and search and rescue. Public safety and search and rescue comprise one of the fastest growing verticals in drone use, and last quarter I neglected to add it to my list. But with buckets of mentions over the past 9 months and a nudge from one of my podcast supporters, I'm able to include it now. Just to call out one of these mentions, park rangers in the Grand Canyon used drones for the first time to assist in a search and rescue mission. The park's fleet of drones helped searchers look in tight spaces without sending rescuers into a potentially unsafe situation. There are so many other different examples of this that it's impossible to name all of them, but I wanted to include it in this quarter's episode, and we'll go ahead and continue to do so as time moves on. Whew, and that's it. In less than 20 minutes, Q2 2017 of the drone industry is in the books. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll release the next one in October of 2017. Be sure to check out past episodes of Commercial Drones FM on the website at www.commercialdrones.fm or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you want to support the podcast, head to patreon.com/dronespodcast. That's patreon.com/drones with an S podcast. And see just how $1 a month can help keep this show going and get you access to the exclusive Commercial Drones FM supporters only Facebook group. We hope to see you there. All right, let's cut off the mics. See you next time. Cheers.